My dad's GF is trying to erase my mom. A little bit of background. I, 19F, am attending college. I work as a waitress at a diner. I lived with my dad because our house was close enough to my college so I didn't have to live on campus. My dad let me stay rent-free as long as I did housekeeping, such as taking out the trash, doing dishes, etc., which I thought was a good deal. However, due to the events I am about to explain, I am no longer living with my dad. I lost my mom to cancer about 3 years ago. My dad and I were devastated, and I never truly recovered. A little over a year ago, my dad announced he was seeing a new woman. I officially met her when we all went out to dinner together at my dad's favorite restaurant. My dad's GF is a very bossy, loud, and brash person. She doesn't have very much of a filter and can get a bit impatient. I wasn't a huge fan of her, but I kept my opinion to myself for the sake of my dad's happiness. After a few months, my dad's GF moved in with us. Over the next year, my dad's GF became very pushy about us spending time together. She didn't care if I was sick or tired, or how much work I had to do. She was obsessed with us going out and doing some activity together, which, might I mention, was always something she wanted to do, regardless of whether I liked it or not. She would hug me a lot, which made me very uncomfortable, and always talked about how we're the most amazing mother-daughter duo. Again, it made me agitated, but I kept my mouth shut, until one day, shit hit the fan. I have a picture of me and my mom that I would keep at my bedside when I lived with my dad. A week ago, it mysteriously disappeared. I asked my dad and his GF if they had any idea where it was, and my dad said I must have moved it while I was dusting. I spent the whole day looking for it. I couldn't find it anywhere in the house. I knew something was off because I would never just misplace a picture of my mom. In the evening, I was taking out the trash, and inside the dumpster was the picture, still in its frame with the glass cracked. To say I was livid would be a huge understatement. I didn't throw the picture out, and my dad has never touched it, so it had to be the GF. I got the picture out and stormed inside the house. My dad and his GF were in their room upstairs. So I barged in and went up to my dad's GF, asking, "Would you care to explain why this photo of my mom and I was in the dumpster?" She denied it. She said she had never touched the picture, claiming I must have thrown it out by accident. I called her a liar, and my dad told me to show some respect. She then confessed to throwing out the picture and proceeded to play the victim. She cried, saying she felt neglected and that I would never love her the same way I loved my mom and that she just wanted to be a part of the family, blah, blah, blah. I snapped. I told her that she was right. I would never love her like I loved my mom because I would never love a lying bitch who stole from me. My dad took her side. He asked how I could be so cruel and that she just wanted to be loved and appreciated. I told my dad that his GF had always been intrusive and overbearing. I said I had tried to make things work and was willing to put up with her for his sake, but that stealing from me and trying to erase my mom was where I drew the line. Even though I already knew the answer, I gave my dad an ultimatum. I told him it was me or his GF. He screamed at me to get out. So I took the picture, got in my car, and drove off. I ended up staying at my cousin's apartment for the night. My dad texted me saying to come get my stuff, that I was no longer welcome in his house, and proceeded to call me an ungrateful brat. The next day, my cousin and I went back to my dad's house after making sure he and his GF weren't there, and we found all my stuff on the lawn. We loaded up everything into her car and took it back to the apartment. I blocked my dad and his GF, and I'm currently NC with both of them. I have now moved in with my cousin. We enjoy each other's company, and she's happy to have someone to split the rent with.